Hello there, how are you? Learin Haddock here with another edition of Worth the Buy here on Bearded Budget Media. This week we're looking into another underrated and oft-forgotten movie of the mid-2000s. A campy comedy film that mocks the tropes of the World War II action movie whilst also mocking the Hollywood system that changes history. So let's steal an enigma, hang out the washing, and let's dive into Churchill The Hollywood Years. Please like, comment, share and subscribe, as it really means a lot to me and it really helps get these underrated gems to a bigger audience. So what we've got with Churchill The Hollywood Years is a film mocking the terrible habit Hollywood has of taking people and making them American, or having the American be the saviour. So for this, the Winston Churchill we know from archive footage and pictures was not Winston Churchill, but Roy Bubbles, an after-dinner speaker. The true Winston is an American GI played by Christian Slater, who pretty much single-handedly saved Britain from the Nazis. I mean, he's not alone, he does have his good friend Denzel Eisenhower to assist. Churchill The Hollywood Years is a fantastic parody that should be remembered in the same vein as films like Men in Tights or Loaded Weapon. It's an out-and-out comedy, and coming off the back of two Hollywood movies in particular, U-571 and Pearl Harbor, either replacing British achievements or exaggerating participation in the Battle of Britain, for example. Whilst watching this, I did bring up to Mrs. Haddock that it gives me the comic strip Presents vibes, which makes sense because it turns out it was written and directed by the duo that created that show, which really makes even more sense as I feel like this film was created with an American's idea of Britain, but coming from a Brit. So it's like a British take on American thoughts of Britain. With it only bringing in around $500,000 in box office, I do feel that this would have been better as like a Sky One original movie or similar TV special type thing as opposed to being a theatrically released film. But in addition to that, I brought this film up to a dear friend who didn't know about it, and he then checked out the trailer. His response? It's a comedy? Then I watched the trailer. My God, no wonder it didn't do well. What an awful advert for a great thing. The humour within Churchill is, in my opinion, great. There's so many gags on the go that if you don't enjoy one, another will be along in a moment that will likely tickle your funny bone. There's even some sight gags that will suddenly hit you. He's hailing a cab. I mean, with the cast involved, it's hard not to fall in love with either characters or gags within the film. Add in a pinch of a random musical number based on an actual World War II marching song, hang out the washing on the Siegfried Line.
Full time, partner.
We got to head out the wash on the Siegfried Line, and we gon' take a couple bombers and go boom in your behind. I see you, Mr. Hitler, on the Siegfried Line. Must be out of your mind. You wanna jump on the Brits this time? Come and try, that ass is mine. You took Belgium and the Netherlands and the others, but it's different when you're messing with the brothers.
I mentioned the cast, and what a cast we have. From the main characters all the way through to cameos, the casting is perfection. Starting with Winston Churchill himself, Christian Slater appears to be having so much fun with his portrayal of Winston Churchill.
We're gonna fight him. On the beaches. We're gonna fight him. On the landing grounds. We're gonna fight him in the hills. We're gonna fight him.
Churchill's ride-or-die buddy in saving Britain from Hitler is, now you may remember him from 40-year-old virgin, Romany Malco as Denzel Eisenhower, which tickles me so much because the hero has to have a quipping black partner to bounce off.
You got soul, man. Won't be more than 1 minute. One more white boy touch me. One more white boy touch me, I swear to God.
Neve Campbell with bad accent too, I swear it's intentional, as a princess to later be Queen Elizabeth II.
Let her go or I'll blow your other motherfucking ball off.
King George V played in what looks like an audition for the Windsors by Harry Enfield.
Come on now, back to your homes or embassies or wherever you're from. Put that glass down and fuck off.
Antagonist Lord Ruff, played fantastically well by a sweary Leslie Phillips.
Oh, fuck.
Then one of my favourite depictions of Hitler, a completely neurotic weirdo, played with aplomb by the late Anthony Sher.
America
will crumble like a cookie.
Very good.
And Ava Braun, played delectably by the beautiful and funny Miranda Richardson.
I am going for shagging a beef eater.
Eva, halt! Eva, here! Eva, no, leave him!
Those are the main players, but a film like this needs the right supporting players to truly sell this ridiculous world. As I've said, there's a bunch of comedy legends within this film, and some will later on in their careers than others. Whether it's the appearance of comedy duo Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer as royal household staff Potter and Bendel.
Me in Camp F? What's this, a gay prison story?
Frickin' wanking aunt.
Rick Mayall making me think of the great 3D Worms-alike game Hogs of War as Baxter.
Oh, shoot them in the back. Oh, great.
Another favourite character within this for me is Phil Cornwell as the Cockney Nazi Martin.
Fuhrer loves a Satsuma.
An earlier film role for Mackenzie Crook as the Irish Cockney from Ye Olde Dick Van Dyke Street, the lovable Jim Chiru.
As soon as I heard you were in trouble, I came straight here, but...
Sandwich.
Adding a sprinkle of League of Gentlemen in having Steve Pemberton as Chester the Royal Train Guard.
It's your favourite, ma'am. Some devilled kidneys and kippers.
And what has to be one of the best pieces of casting throughout all of this has to be the very Jewish comedian and writer of The Death of Stalin with Iannucci, David Schneider as Joseph Goebbels, played with the true lunacy that works so well.
Cross the 13th century crucifix and replaces it with a live chicken.
I find it hard not to love Churchill The Hollywood Years. It just tickles my funny bone the right way. I don't know what it is about it, whether it's for my love of the cast from all their other work or just the sheer ridiculousness of everything. I mean, they actually use sections of Winston Churchill's speeches and the like as action movie dialogue, and it oddly fits so well with that action sort of movie line trope. The use of him referring to them as Nazis as well is fitting, because I believe it's true that Churchill regularly referred to them as Nazis instead of Nazis. Something I picked up on, and it's often seen as a criticism for sort of World War II era films, and its era inappropriate weapons and vehicles, and I think this was done purposefully in this film as another knock on Hollywood. I mean, until more recently in Hollywood war films in particular, there wasn't always either the possibility, knowledge, effort, or bother or all of the above to be able to depict accurately German or Soviet armour, for example. So you'll often find things like US Sherman tanks, with some stick-on bits playing a part of German or Soviet tanks. Sometimes it's just not possible to get a hold of a Tiger or a T-34, so you make do. Other times, they just prefer the look of a different tank or a gun because it looks cool. This is an unusual film in that it involves Pathé, 20th Century Fox and Sky Movies. Yeah, is it available on any streaming service, considering Sky in the UK also own Now TV, giving it a vast customer base, to the point that even their competitor Virgin Media still have Sky channels and on-demand content available on their service. And obviously, everyone's aware that Disney bought Fox a number of years ago, but is this underrated pearl available anywhere? Nope. Seems insane. This film is another reason to own physical media, with great special features like commentary from the director and Christian Slater, and the always fun to have gag reel. There's also the addition of the real Winston Churchill mockumentary, which pretty much cuts the movie down to about 20 minutes with some additional footage from key characters.
Chief's got a new bird, so you're surplus. Again, sorry? Chief's got a new bird, Harold.
Still running.
Harold! I'm not cold. Sorry. Method.
So there we have it, another worth the buy here on Bearded Budget Media. If you see this out in the wild, pick it up, it's 100% worth your time. I believe it may be knocking around on YouTube too, but the quality leaves a lot to be desired. Well, if you want an under 90-minute watch full of laughs, you can't go wrong with Churchill The Hollywood Years. I've been Lyrin Haddock, catch you next time.
So pretty.
Thank you.
I am the Führer. I'd like you to know I have a complete set of testicles.
One is very pleased to hear that.